Good morning.
I hope you enjoyed our MyMagic Plus breakfast and enjoyed our speakers this morning and know plenty more about MyMagic Plus. We have designed this next half hour especially for you, our media from the Central Florida area, because we know that you've probably had the opportunity to experience MyMagic Plus more so than our more distant media. And we wanted to give you a special opportunity to have a conversation with one of our executives who's been very involved with MyMagic Plus from the very beginning. My name's Carol Monroe. I'm Director of Public Relations for Walt Disney World, and thank you all for joining us. I'd like to introduce to you as my guest, Jim Macphee. He is Senior Vice President of Walt Disney World Parks Operations. Jim, thank you,
Carol. Good morning, everyone. I see a lot of very familiar faces from a lot of travels over the years. It's so great to have you all here with us today.
So, we'll jump right in. And I'll spend 15 or so minutes talking to Jim, and we're going to open the floor for questions from you as well. My colleague Jamie will have a microphone that she will bring to you, and you can ask your questions. So we're going to start out. Let's just jump right in. We've already been sharing MyMagic Plus with Tom Staggs and Samantha Brown and Gary Daniels and George Kalogridis. And now you've been involved with this from the very beginning. So tell us, how are our guests responding to MyMagic Plus?
We are very, very excited about the response from our guests. You know, as Carol mentioned, I've had the privilege of being a part of this effort since really it was first conceived almost 6 years ago, a little over 6 years ago. And all along the way, we wanted to make sure that we were focused in on ensuring that we were taking the experience today to a whole different place as we move forward with MyMagic Plus. So guest feedback and guest input has been critical, as well as, obviously, as Tom said, our cast. We're very, very excited about our guests' reaction to that. I think from a metric standpoint, we're seeing exactly the types of behaviors that we had hoped for. But I think from a pure experience standpoint, from an overall enjoyment standpoint, our guests are actually telling us, as you heard earlier, I'm getting to spend more time with my family. I'm getting to do so in a much more relaxed way. It's not the amazing race when a rope drop happens in our parks, and it's all about guest choice. And I think that's what we strive for, and we're excited in just these first 30 days, having now launched to all guests visiting our resort, about the results so far.
You know, we opened this morning's breakfast with a really fun video of guests using the Magic Band in odd and really humorous ways. And the Magic Band has kind of become representative of MyMagic Plus. You know, it's just that visual. Any more on the Magic Bands and how our guests are responding to using them in particular?
Very, very good response to the Magic Band itself. You know, we talk about everything that we're doing under the umbrella of MyMagic Plus, which is really a variety of things that come together that on an individual basis are really cool and really important to improving the experience overall. But it's the blend of the whole entirety: Scene Ones, Enhanced Queue Experiences, FastPass Plus, My Disney Experience, and of course the Magic Band. It's very clear the Magic Band is truly the icon of MyMagic Plus. I think its simplicity, yet I think sleek uniqueness is something that we're proud of, something that we think that we're leading the industry on in terms of connecting the quality of our brand with the simplicity and ease in the experience overall. And as Tom said earlier, there's not a lot of people who don't like to use the Magic Band. It's very, very popular, and our guests are enjoying its use. And I'll never forget in the early days of our research when we were beginning to think about the notion of a Magic Band, and we did a lot of internal interviews and some research with some guests, and one dad in particular with his kids sitting with us literally threw, in a positive way, his FastPass tickets, his guide map, his theme park tickets, and his hotel room keys on the table and said, "You mean I don't have to carry these things around?" And we said, "Yep, that's what we're striving for." And so we think that the Magic Band is just the beginning of simplicity and ease in experiencing Disney in a very unique and different way.
So, seeking guest feedback and even designing the Magic Band, and guests are giving us feedback on how to make MyMagic Plus even better. Tell us about that.
Well, maybe I'll take a little bit of a trip back in time. We recognize that, as we continue to focus in on the growth of our entire Walt Disney Parks and Resorts segment worldwide, that experiences and new and exciting opportunities to bring great Disney stories to life through incredible, what we would refer to internally as bricks and mortar, will always be important for us. And I think that's evident to some of the things you're seeing this weekend in terms of how we're continuing to look at investment. But we also recognize that we really need to take a look at, what are some of the experiences that we have today? How can we take them to the next level and match them up against some really important trends? And we would call those internally consumer trends. And these are trends that each of us face in our lives each and every day. Instant gratification, depth of patience, real-time information. I want what I want now, and I want it how I want it. So MyMagic Plus was built immediately with guest input and guest feedback in mind, because we were hearing from our guests that it's a great experience and here's what we can do or you can do to make it even greater. So guest feedback was really the fuel that got us really focused on MyMagic Plus, and along the way it's been critically important to us moving forward. If I may, I'll give you another example. Our ability to be able to react to that feedback is very, very important, because when we embark upon the notion of personalization and customization, it's a big promise, and it's something that we have to deliver on. And we've taken great pride in exceeding expectations, but we knew we were signing up for a big responsibility, and I think we've delivered on that one. But I think if you think about FastPass Plus as an example, as you heard earlier, FastPass has been in place since 1999, I think it was, shortly after the opening of Disney's Animal Kingdom. And a lot of people back in those days said, whoa, I don't know what that is. I don't know if I'm going to go experience that. And today, it's a hugely popular, I think, game-changing, industry-leading way of experiencing Disney and our experiences across the property. We recognize that FastPass Plus would take it to a whole new level, but we heard loud and clear, first of all, excitement and euphoria about the fact that people didn't have to run and scatter, around the parks and get their fast pass, as they said. You mean I can stay together as a family and we can, think about getting fast pass pluses when we first thought about it. About 30 seconds later, we heard we want more and we want fast pass, or we want park hopping. So, we're going to have to be really, we are, I think, very focused on adjusting and modifying along the way the principles of what we have in a real-time basis, and I think just in 30 days we were able to introduce more, and also the park hopping capability. So we're excited about that, and our ability to continue to learn and adjust along the way.
MyMagic Plus, obviously a great thing for folks who want to start the planning and really start their vacation before they even get here. That's one of the things we talk about. You get in that vacation mindset before you even get here. But there are some folks, especially us who live in Central Florida, who have the luxury of saying, hey, it's Sunday morning, the weather's great, let's go out to the Magic Kingdom. How is it great for both the planners and those of us who like to be spontaneous from time to time?
We really wanted to make sure that guest choice, the choice to plan or to experience spontaneously our vacation destination, was top of mind for us moving forward. So many of you know that we've taken a very strong look at all of the FastPass Plus opportunities that we have across the parks and resorts, and we went from 29 legacy FastPass opportunities to now 70. We think that's just also a starting point for us to now think about more unique opportunities that our guests have already begun to ask us about and add to that. We also stayed very focused on ensuring that we could make sure we delivered a great experience for pre-planners and planners and the like, and also those who are just walking in the door for the first time to experience that. So all of our experiences are, we believe, have great inventory, if you will. It's an internal term that we use to think about the number of opportunities. And so those guests who are walking in the door, not unlike in Legacy, if you come here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you're not going to have the same opportunities for FastPass as you in the old days when you came in at 9 o'clock. So, there certainly is, a window of that pre-planning mindset and that spontaneity mindset that we believe we can fulfill and deliver it. And so we think we need to focus in on making sure that it is guest choice, and those who want to plan can do so, and those who want to experience it in a spontaneous way have the chance to do so as well.
And at the end of the day, it's all about maximizing fun and maximizing that important time that we want to spend with the people that we care about, right?
Right, that's exactly right. We recognize that the number of experiences, and we actually measure the number of experiences that our guests have when they visit our property, is really important, and it's a key guest satisfaction driver. And what we found even early on is now guests have more opportunity to do more things than perhaps they had had in the past. And that's important because we realize that that creates a higher level of satisfaction, and hopefully, they and you all will come back time and time again to have even more of those experiences. It's also helping us think long term about how we're thinking about our overall investment strategy, and I think we're really focused on all the right things that we think about moving forward now.
You touched on FastPass Plus. Tell us about the changes to FastPass Plus.
Well, many of you know that we started off, as you recall, Legacy FastPass was one at a time with a variety of business rules that were established with 2-hour windows and the like. We wanted to make sure that FastPass Plus took individual access and availability points of FastPass and centralized that. So we introduced, obviously, the kiosks that are in our parks and many of our land areas, where if guests haven't already planned before they got here, they can go up and actually get their choice of 3. FastPass Plus also, as you know, allows guests to go on the My Disney Experience website or app and be able to acquire their 3 FastPass Pluses moving forward. The changes that we made now, which are just the start of our continued journey in evolving FastPass Plus, is to allow for guests to experience more than 3 once they've used their first 3, and to be able to use them in any park of their choice. And then as they use each one after the 3, they can acquire another one. So, it was fun. I was in the park with the team on Monday when we began to roll it out. It was just amazing to me that guests were coming up talking about at 1 o'clock in the afternoon how many experiences they got to do now that we had created a more than 3 capability. There wasn't a loud or large percent of guests who were saying, we want more, we want more. But there were guests who said they want more. And so we reacted to that, and I think we delivered on that in a great way. And I think we've satisfied at least the initial itch for both more fast passes and for park hopping. But we're not done. We're continuing to look at it each and every day. And that's, I think, the beauty of MyMagic Plus, is it's opened up a portal of continued focus on making the experiences great.
How do we protect guest privacy with MyMagic Plus? I know that's been a question that's come up in the past.
It is a question. Privacy is very, very important to us, and we spent a lot of time making sure that we were focused in on the highest levels of security in the privacy space. I think, first of all, everyone knows that MyMagic Plus is all about guest choice. Our privacy policies are available on our websites, and everyone has full access to that. We don't capture and hold a lot of guest privacy information. In the Magic Bands, as an example, it's basically an anonymous code that's assigned to the itinerary plan of a guest moving forward. So we are focused on privacy in a big way. We recognize that our guests trust us with their experience while they're here, and we want to make sure we do everything we can to ensure that we are focused on maintaining the highest levels of privacy possible. But they are available on the website if you haven't had a chance to take a look at them.
Is MyMagic Plus complete, or is there more to come?
No, this is what I'm most excited about. Typically, I've had the opportunity to be with this company for 36 years now. And part of that experience has been a variety of new openings. I was a part of the Epcot opening team, Disney's Hollywood Studios opening team, which today, by the way, is the 25th anniversary of that property. I spent some time in California, opening Disney's California Adventure in the 1998 time frame, I think it was. 2001 is actually when that opened. All of those were extraordinary experiences, but they were unique, and they were unique because we were marching toward an opening day, a big ribbon cutting ceremony where, ta-da, it's open. Now we just make it great, through the experiences that we deliver. I believe at MyMagic Plus, we've actually just gotten to the starting line of a lot of hard work and development that's been happening, and that the places that we will go are nothing short of amazing. That I think we will always focus in on making Disney experiences great, but now more on your terms and our guest terms than ever before. We don't take lightly the focus on personalization and customization, the opportunity for guests to experience that. So I would say, and Walt said this, we're just getting started with MyMagic Plus. We think that now that we have all of our guests now 30 days into experiencing the components of it, we're going to learn more, we're going to advance more, and we're going to continue to develop more, and I think in big ways, much of which we have thought out, but I think there's stuff that we haven't even seen yet that will allow us to be able to take it to an incredibly new level even more.
You beat me to my next question. I was actually going to ask you to tell us a little bit about your Disney career. You touched on it a little bit, but any more you'd like to share?
Well, I'm sorry, I got ahead of your question there, but no, I think for me, this is, in all the years and all the exciting things that I've had a chance to do, this I think is probably one of the most exciting things. And I often tell my teams that, I hope one day down the road that I'll have grandchildren who are sitting on my lap and I can tell them about all my experiences at Disney. And I will tell you that the first thing I'll start with is MyMagic Plus, because for me it was an opportunity to take 36 years of operations knowledge and experience and good learnings and hard knock learnings and say, how can we make this better? How can we continue to improve upon it? At the risk of really dating myself, it was 1978. There was just a Magic Kingdom, 2 hotels and a campground when I started as a summer casual cast member driving the ferry boats, the launches and the motor cruisers that run back and forth from the transportation and ticket center over to the Magic Kingdom. And it's really neat to step back and look at, I think there were probably 8,000 cast members here with us during that time frame. And today we have 70,000 cast members who bring this experience to life just here at Walt Disney World alone. And one of the things I'm also most proud of is the fact that the combination of our heritage and tradition through our founder, Walt Disney, who, by the way, in 1923 founded this company on the platform of innovation, creativity, and technology. If you think about all the things that he did with regard to animation and the evolution of that, and really, over a span of 2 or 3 decades, brought theme parks to life with Disneyland's opening. Sometimes people ask, gee, what would Walt think about MyMagic Plus? And I can honestly say and lean forward, I think he would be awful darn proud of the fact that we're continuously improving and taking the experiences to levels that I think he would be proud of.
When we talk about MyMagic Plus, obviously we talk about technology, but you said something to me the other day about how you think about technology and MyMagic Plus and the guest experience. You want to share that thought? Yeah,
it was actually, I think Richard asked me the question when we were visiting before, and it was about, does this mean does the Disney experience now become digital or all about technology? And we were very, very, very careful to ensure that technology was the underlayer of great experiences through storytelling and through all of the elements that we do, and essentially technology would be invisible, but that the things that we do, the form factors that we use, and the product that we bring to life really delivers on that. And so I think it's a reversal of that statement. I think technology or digital is the fuel that enables Disney experiences to go to incredible new places, not that the experiences are becoming more technology or more digital. What I'm also amazed at, and I'm sorry if I'm getting ahead of questions again too, but I'm also amazed about how many people have said, I'm just not familiar with technology. I don't know if I would engage in this. I'm blown away by the number of people and the range of ages of people who are quickly adapting to and adopting my Disney experience as an example. You saw Gary's presentation in there. I hope you've had an opportunity to use it. That's another thing that's just getting started, in terms of how we think about the advancements that we will be able to make in the digital space on again, arranging for or, thinking about the vacation experience. But what's been really exciting is this isn't about just a singular generation focus who might be tech savvy. We're seeing people, all ages, all ranges, really adopt to and adjust to and, get into it as deep or shallow or even not at all, if they choose to do so. So we're excited about the appeal on a broad range.
What about MyMagic Plus going to other parks? Any update there?
We have no specific plans or anything that we're locked in on, or more importantly, talking about now. We knew that we had to focus in on getting it right here at Walt Disney World. This site that we have here with, the number of theme parks, hotels, and experiences across the board was a big undertaking. And some might have said, gee, why wouldn't you have thought about starting it at another site and then building it? But we really wanted to focus in on making sure that we had all of our teams relentlessly focused and challenged with delivering it great here at Walt Disney World, so that as we've gotten to where we are right now with an incredible launch and what we think is great success out of the gate, we can now contemplate it for all of our other sites. But it was clearly built for worldwide Disney Parks and Resorts application, in a big way.
We've talked about guest response to MyMagic Plus. My final question, what about the response from our cast to MyMagic Plus?
That is probably the one thing that gives me the biggest goosebumps. I get a lot of goosebumps about, how we've gotten to where we are today, but gosh, what I'm so proud of is our cast members. And we really were focused on making sure that early on their input was real-time acquired, asked for, and solicited to make sure that the cast tools and the functionality and usability of everything that we're doing was done in the way that they could be proud of it. They could explain it. They could stand in front of guests and really, really talk about it. And, one of my favorite Walt quotes is, "You can dream, create, and imagine the most beautiful things in the world, but it takes people to make it a reality." And I think our cast members have made this a reality because of their continued focus on quality experiences in everything that we do, and also the recognition that, as you heard earlier, the fact that we can get into immersive interactions with our guests now as opposed to this transactional environment. And we have a lot of other transactions we want to go knock out, but we, I think, got out of the gate with MyMagic Plus in a great way, and we have given and seen our cast members do what our guests expect of us each and every day, which is to deliver legendary guest service, and that's what we're most proud of.
Okay, great note to end on, and a great note to open the floor to questions. We have microphones in case you need one, and Jamie's coming toward you right now. And if you'd like to please introduce yourself and your media outlet.
Yeah, Jim Madison, Florida Sun newspaper. Is there any concern about someone hacking into the MyMagic system? And if so, what are you doing to protect against that?
We're not concerned about we're focused heavily on privacy and ensuring that everything that we do is heavily gated and protected in the way that you would expect us to be. We don't take that lightly. And I think the security, even beginning with the fact that we really don't store any guest information specific to an individual guest on the Magic Band, as an example, it's more of an anonymous code is connected to that. So, but we don't take that lightly. We're focused on it, but we're very confident that we have everything in place to make sure that it is a safe and secure experience.
Next question, the gentleman sitting next to Jim.
I'm Bob Jenkins. I'm a freelance writer. Let's talk a little bit about what reasons do people give for not wanting to use the band?
For the three, we're prepared for all of the personal needs that individuals have, whether it's some type of inability to wear a band or their own personal choice to wear that. As was mentioned earlier, guests can always use the existing media that they have, which is RF enabled, to be able to do everything that a Magic Band will enable that moving forward. But candidly, the individuals who've chosen not to use a band are all about that choice, or their choice, and there's so few that we haven't really focused in specifically other than having the choice.
Do you have any kind of survey where you ask why don't you want to use the band?
We may have that. I don't have it off the top of my head. We can follow up with you and see if we have any information on that one. But we haven't had, much rejection of it at all that is worthy of note. We will, though, if we do find something that is an opportunity to correct it so that one or two or three can wear the band. We'll take a close look at that because we think it's a great, it's a great transformation of the experience using it.
Next question, gentleman in the front row.
Hi, Jim. It's been interesting to watch the genesis of the Magic Bands, and I think it's been obviously part of the plan. I applaud you guys for definitely taking into account guest response and guest feedback about sort of making changes. And I think we're going to look back at some point to this time and go, remember when Magic Bands, all they used to do was FastPass? Because I think, obviously, what we're talking about here is really what I think is the tip of the iceberg. And in the future, Magic Bands being possibly more personal in terms of the guest experience and more interactive. Can you touch on that at all?
Well, I think that what I would say to that, Lou, is that our focus was to get started, and we knew that we had to pick a place to be able to make sure that everything that we were doing between Magic Bands and My Disney Experience and FastPass Plus and all of the enhancements that we made across the board would be the starting point, and that from there we can get to the next level of personalized and customized, not just guest choice, but also service. So I think all of our efforts are to be able to make sure that we're delivering and exceeding individual expectations. So our goal is to the extent our guests want to let us know more about what they like, what they don't like, and how we can really take personalization to a different level. That's what we think we've unlocked here. But again, it's about the guests choosing to want more and ask more. But we're excited about the places we can go and we'll go with it. We have some thoughts about how to take it to the next gen of the next gen experience, if you will. But we want to make sure that we are singularly focused right now on learning as much as we can in what we have today, so that we can advance off of that very quickly. But this isn't an effort that just reached an opening date, on March 31st, and it's time to move on to the next thing. This is the fabric of what we're going to be doing from an experiential platform, both in the individualized service as well as in the way we think about all of our growth and development moving forward.
We have several with questions on the front row. We'll start ladies first.
Hi, I'm Shelley Kieran from On the Go. Question about the fact that you said there are a lot of people still learning about technology and there's a disconnect at some point. And I know that when you receive your Magic Band, you get a little bit of information, but do you all have plans on how to kind of show the public at large how to use the technology best to their advantage? Like little tips and tricks. You've got great cast members out there doing great things, and it seems like there's a disconnect between education and use sometimes.
I think that's a fair comment. I think it's also when you have something this new and this innovative, we rely on, obviously, time for people to understand and value it. That's why we've invited you all here, today and this week to become more familiar with it. You'll see us continue to focus in on national advertising campaigns as we roll out, from this first month of our operation. We also have a constant focus on what's happening in our individual marketing and sales efforts with our consumers that we have contact and access with, to be able to give them the information that they need. And I think the most important thing on that one too is, especially when guests are here on this property, we always wanted to make sure that technology didn't replace touch, especially Disney touch. And as I said, what I saw on Monday and what you'll see throughout your visit here is our cast members have moved to an entirely new place of interacting with our guests and being able to talk about their likes and their wants, and to help them navigate wherever they need it. I did want to make sure I clarify one thing though. We haven't seen many disconnects. We've seen huge adoption and huge relationship established early and often with the platform that we've introduced. Where we do see disconnects, we either can navigate through that if it's an issue, or again, people have the choice to do that. But we're very, very excited about those who are familiar with it, how they've adjusted to it, adopted to it, and are using it to their advantage. But I think this is something so new and so innovative. It's going to take time and, frankly, great experiences to really continue that awareness broadly.
Thank you.
Next question, if you would introduce yourself and share your media affiliation. Thank you.
Jeremiah Good with LaughingPlace.com. Jim, kind of looking to the future of MyMagic Plus, one of the early points that I think was driven to a lot of the guests about it was the immersive experience. And I know that there's things coming in the future for attractions and queues, a little bit more immersion. Is there any update on the timeline or any hints of what's coming for that?
That's I'm not going to, it's going to sound like I'm avoiding the details of the question, but what I would say to that is we're really trying to infuse it into the fabric of everything that we're doing and announcing new. So when you experience the Seven Dwarf Mine Coaster as an example, you're going to see one of the most exciting and innovative queue line experiences that we call Scene Ones. You heard us refer to that. And we stepped back several years ago and started to begin the journey of marching down MyMagic Plus. It wasn't just FastPass Plus, My Disney Experience, and Magic Bands. It was that and more, and that more is making the experience great wherever we can on every dimension. If you dial back to, I want to think it was 2007, which with the introduction of, at the time, Kim Possible at Epcot, we were very surprised and pleasantly delighted by how many guests were experiencing more of what Epcot was about by going deeper into countries and storylines and things of that nature, and taking that and evolving that to Phineas and Ferb is an example of kind of the march we've been on to get much more personalized and immersive in our story arc. Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom, another great experience at the Magic Kingdom. There's not there's a lot of guests who go experience that, but there's there's more guests who experience Space Mountain. But the opportunity to go do Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom is a personal choice and a deeper dive into that type of experience and that niche audience that really has that appeal. The scene ones that we talked about, if you've not been to Dumbo is probably, I have two 11-year-old daughters, so I'm a good case study on how to keep parents and children busy. And Dumbo is unbelievable, I think, in terms of, moving out of that traditional wait time experience into a play and ride experience. So, all that said, we're trying to make sure that we are now infusing this into all of our new experiences as a part of the base, and that everything that we do, like the Seven Dwarf Mine Coasters, has these elements embedded in them, and that we're not talking about them, but we're talking about Seven Dwarfs Mine Coaster, and it's great because of the inclusion of all that moving forward. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay.
Got time for a couple more questions. Deb.
Deb Wills from allears.net. My question actually revolves around the environmental issue. There's green, MyMagic Plus is green, and the little light spins green. And while I know there are a large number of first-time visitors to Walt Disney World, you also have a great number of Disney Vacation Club members who come at least once a year, if not more, annual pass holders who are here at least once, if not more, a year, and of course all of us locals. And so I was wondering, are the Magic Bands recyclable? Is there a way so that I don't end up with 5, 6, 7 in the house? Is there a recycle bin? Is there a way to use it again? How are you looking at the whole impact of
It's a great
that
question,
particular?
and environmentality is very, very important to us as a company, and was also a very important factor in everything that we're doing. And the actual intent of the Magic Band is to be reusable, so that you can have one band or as many bands as you would like, and as you visit us each and every time, you can go in and activate or deactivate that. Dress it up with your favorite bandits or sleeves and whatnot. But I think as you think about the fact that we've gone from now this myriad of media and collateral that you've had to tote around over time, which I don't know about you, but usually ends up in the garbage can by the time I get back home because I don't need it anymore. The notion of taking that inventory out, looking at things that we've been able to do to kind of combine all the information that we have in a more digital way is, we think, a very, very strong focus with an environmentality filter as much as possible. And we'll continue to do that. As you know, environmentality and corporate responsibility is a major, major focus for our company. And so early on, we had all of the folks who help us think about those things involved to make sure that the product is created in the right way, the reusability factor is in the right way, and that at the end of the day, we can all contribute to a greener and better world.
One more question.
Hi there, Simon Vaness from Vaness Travel Media. Jim, with the focus that My Disney Experience has a large component with technology and with mobile devices, we know from our British readers that a lot of them are either reluctant to bring their mobile devices or reluctant to use them here because of the cost. How do you deal with that and cater to that particular market for international people who may not be able to take advantage of the technology on the go?
Good, all great points, and we had to make sure that as we were focusing on domestic, international, all of the demographics for the guests visiting us, we took that into account. One of the key areas of focus was ensuring that the kiosks in our parks would provide the capability of accessing that without ever having to use a mobile device if a guest so chooses. We do have a lot of work underway right now to ensure that we're focused in on the international access and usage of My Disney Experience as an example. Probably would need to do a follow-up with you to get into the specifics of that, but it's definitely top of mind to make sure that all guests from all origins have access to and visibility to the product, but definitely recognize your points on the international challenges associated with fees and whatnot.
Great questions. Thank you all. We really appreciate your interest in MyMagic Plus. We hope this session has been illuminating, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much.